What's going on, my fellow troops? My name is Xavvo and welcome back to a brand new video. So today I'm going to be bringing you guys the best TAQ Evolvere LMG class in Modern Warfare 3. Now, not to be confused with the TAQ Eradicator, which I have already covered. There's the TAQ Eradicator and there's the TAQ Evolvere, so it is kind of annoying, but that's what we're covering today. So I'm just going to give you a little breakdown for anyone who's just kind of new or anyone who really needs it for what you want to know about what the class does, whilst I show you some gameplay. So this class is going to allow you to be super fast, super mobile. You're not going to worry about being weighed down, bogged down by a weapon that's super heavy. You're going to have pretty fast sprint to fire. I'd say it's like really fast, to be honest with you. And ADS is really good as well. You're also going to have a massive reduction to recoil, so it's very, very controllable. And this thing does a great deal of damage. I don't know how popular this gun is at the moment in Season 6, considering it's not really meta, I would say. But I would say over time, people will come back and they'll want to use some of these weapons. So if you're camo grinding right now at this point of the game, or if you're even just coming back to this game and you're just looking at the weapons and whatnot, then maybe you want to use a class for this and this will help you out whilst you're grinding or whatever. So yeah, it's a very, very fun class to use. And not only on the attachments, but over the entire class, I'm going to make sure that you have perfectly quick reload speed with plenty of ammo and just other great perks that are going to help you just to improve any cons that are across the weapon so that you can have the most fun experience possible whilst using this gun. Because I do know, obviously, LMGs are not everyone's go-to. They're not really my go-to either, and they are kind of slow and whatnot. And we've had another LMG added in this season for Season 6. It gets a bit monotonous sometimes for people to play with LMG, so I want you to not feel that whilst you're playing with the game, and I think I've managed that pretty well with this gameplay, as you can see. So, with that being said, hopefully the gameplay shows enough. Hopefully my little breakdown of this gun has helped out in some regard, and with that being said, now let's get to the class setup. Okay, so here we are in the class setup area. The very first thing we're using is the infantry vest. I've left that as the standard. This is just going to allow us to have increased TAQ sprint duration and reduces the actual refresh time so that we can keep tactical sprinting as much as possible. I think that's obviously going to be crucial considering we're using a heavier weight weapon and we want to be able to move around quicker. So that's definitely something that you're going to want to have on. The next thing I've got is just a stim and a Semtex as the tactical and lethal. Field upgrade, I'm running dead silence. I have just been using that a lot recently, so I just didn't choose to switch it out. I think it's kind of fun as well to use dead silence whilst we're using this class, because I haven't personally got the boots for this class that are going to get rid of my sound, which I think is the covert sneakers, right? So this kind of does that temporarily every so often. So I think that's a little nice alternative. So for gloves, we're running commando gloves. So this is going to allow us to reload while sprinting and improves sprint to fire. Sprint to fire, of course, is something that is a bit of a problem with LMGs, regardless of what you do for them, because LMGs, like I say, are heavier weight. So sprint to fire is obviously going to be slower, bringing it into aim. So you do want to have that improved, and that's what I'm mainly looking at. But the fact that you can reload while sprinting is also great, because it literally stops us from having limited combat and mobility at the same time. So I think that is good as well. For the boots, we are running the running sneakers, and the reason we're running the running sneakers is going to also increase TAQ sprint duration and reduces the refresh time and improves sprint to fire time whilst using the TAQ sprint. So whilst we're tactical sprinting, we can even sprint to fire to go into a fight. Now, the thing is, this also does the same benefits of infantry vest. As you can see, if equipped with running sneakers, you'll gain the effects of lightweight boots. And if you guys don't know, the lightweight boots obviously are right here, and they increase your movement and swim speed and reduces your noise while swimming. So you get basically the perks of another pair of boots for having these pair of sneakers on with the vest, which I think is super nice. So as much mobility that we can improve as possible, I think it's much needed for this kind of weapon class. For the gear, we've obviously got two pieces. I'm running the mag holster. This should be obvious. It's to improve that reload speed, because we want to have maximum ammo, but we don't want to feel hindered with the speeds of the reload. So that's why we have that. And the second piece of gear we have on, I'm just running for once because I don't normally use it, and it's the data jacker, which allows for enemies to drop smartphones when you kill them, and collecting the smartphone generates a radar ping from that location. So it's basically acts as like mini UAVs without me having to constantly get UAVs, which is every 4 or 5 kills. I can then essentially get mini UAVs whilst playing, constantly knowing where people are. And I think it's great to know where people are at all points, or as much as possible, when you're using a gun that's heavier, because you're not really wanting to move and slide around all over the place and hide and dip and all this kind of stuff. You want to be constantly aware of where people are so that you can turn around quicker and find them quicker. I think that's more important, really. So anyway, that's what we're running for the overall class setup. So now let's get to the attachments. The first attachment we're using, which should come as no surprise, we are running the Quartermaster suppressor. It's one of the most recent suppressors in the game, and it is absolutely phenomenal. As you can see, it does a great job of improving gun kick and recoil. It improves improves both of those, gives us absolute stability, and it also is going to make us undetectable by the radar, which is even better. Obviously, LMGs as they are quite loud, but another thing that's kind of shitty for guns is if they're not suppressed, well, you're going to appear on the radar when you're firing your weapon. So this makes you undetectable. So as long as I'm firing my weapon, I'm not going to appear on that mini map for anyone to see. So I think that's very important. Now, one of the downsides to the Quartermaster is it's obviously going to add ADS and add sprint to fire, and as we've obviously shown so far over just the class setup alone, never mind the rest of the attachments, we've actually helped improve sprint to fire so that this isn't a problem. And ADS, this will also be improved over the class. But for the next attachment, we have the LRF Righteous Long Barrel. This is for the barrel, of course, and this is going to improve bullet velocity and range, just giving us extended ranges that we can hit people at. Aiming idle sway, very important as well, because these guns can kind of wobble around, they're kind of heavy, and it also improves aim walking speed and recoil control as well. So again, this attachment does add a ton of ADS and sprint to fire problems to it, and a little bit of sprint speed, but as we've shown from the class setup, that's not a problem. We've improved all of that kind of stuff. For the next attachment, we have the laser, which is the Corio Laser 44V3, and this here, right, as you can see, improves ADS, because we haven't really improved ADS with the overall class setup. We've only improved sprint to fire and overall mobility, that kind of thing. But this here improves your ADS, which is very useful, and it's also going to give you additional aiming stability. For the next attachment, we have the magazine. This is the 100 round 5.56 belt. The reason I've not gone with the 200 belt is, as you can see, it starts to take a massive hit to damage and damage range, as well as your reload quickness. Now, obviously, using both types of these ammos are going to have some effect on your reload speeds, and the mag holster can handle a certain amount. It can speed it up, but you don't want to be using the absolute heaviest one because it's going to take a long time regardless. This ends up just severely punishing you, so when you're actually killing people, it takes a lot longer to kill people, and it doesn't do as much damage overall. So we do not want to have the maximum on. I think that should be obvious. So 100 round is like kind of the nice middle ground, because if you're using the default, you are using around 100, I believe. Yeah, there's 100 in the default, but with this 100 round belt, it does expend some of the reserve ammo, so that's what it's mainly doing. It's cutting that 100 extra ammo out, but at the same time, as a result, it's making your sprint to fire more controllable. It's making your bullet velocity, recoil, and gun kick more controllable. If you're running the default, you're going to probably have a ton of recoil, and it's also going to be a lot more heavier. Trust me, you do not need all of that default amount of ammo, and you don't need 200 rounds. And finally, we have the stock, which is the Assault 60 stock. This also improves ADS, and it also gives us additional aim walking speed and movement speed. But there you have it. That is the class we are running today for the TAQ Evolvere. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to drop a like on this video. It goes a long way, and it makes me very happy, as well as the algorithm happy. So go down there and drop a like, and also leave a comment if you want. Let me know what you think. You could literally just comment anything anyway. I mean, commenting helps with the algorithm as well. Check out all the links down below in the description. It's much appreciated. But with that being said, thank you for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Bye, guys.